Let me tell you a business payments story. Carefree Catering buys bakery products from Best Breads. Carefree Catering wants to pay Best Breads electronically. Unfortunately for Carefree and too many businesses, Best Breads, adding Best Breads as a supplier to receive electronic payments is a manual process involving fax, email, and phone calls. The process is time consuming, taking as much as 2 weeks, is rife with error, and is subject to fraud attacks such as business email compromise. Businesses like electronic payments, but struggle with the data that surrounds payments. Fixius is a platform to enable the trusted exchange of payment-related information via open APIs, directly between authoritative payment providers. Fixius is a back-end service. We could have a dramatic reading of the code that you see on the screen, but Greg advised this might not hold your attention. Instead, let's see how Fixius would work for two providers and their customers. In this scenario, Highrise Bank is a Fixius CSP, or Credentialed Service Provider. I'll be using a mocked-up user interface to illustrate how Highrise might use Fixius to better serve their customers. Fixius supports multiple use cases called exchange services. Each exchange service is based upon an open API specification and represents a particular information exchange use case. Any CSP can provide the benefits of any or all of the ever-growing list of exchange services for their customers. First, we'll demonstrate the Electronic Payment Information Profile Exchange Service. An Electronic Payment Information Profile, or EPI, outlines the ways a supplier would like to be paid. Do you remember Carefree Catering? They bank at Highrise Bank. And as a Fixius CSP, Highrise Bank has the ability to provide a secure, automated way for Carefree to acquire accurate supplier information. Best Breads is a customer of Lowrise Credit Union, another Fixius CSP. Fixius is an ecosystem of rules and governance overseen by Nacha and supported by blockchain-enabled automated trust mechanisms. Here I've chosen two financial institutions as sample CSPs, but any company that provides payment services can be a CSP. The Fixius Early Adopter Group is made up of over 20 companies and includes financial institutions, payment service providers, networks, and fintechs. In a minute, we'll see one of our early adopter partners, Novello, and how they intend to put Fixius to work. Let's get back to our demo. First, we need to add a profile for Best Breads. I'm using a user interface here, but typically this would be automated. We'll enter the information for Best Breads, and we'll identify a payment method to go into the electronic payment information profile. We submit, and now we see that Best Breads is a participant in the EPI exchange service, and we can see that their profile holds their validated payment information. Finally, we'll note that Best Breads would like Lowrise Credit Union to automatically respond to any new EPI requests. This automated response can be done safely and securely because of the trust mechanisms that Fixius provides. Several things happened in the background here. Our UI essentially collected the information necessary to support an open API. When the profile was created, the availability of an EPI for Best Breads was made available, and Best Breads was made searchable. Further, a cryptographic signature of the EPI was stored on the blockchain so that all CSPs can verify the EPI at any time. Now let's go back to Highrise Bank and see how they use Fixius to add value for their customer, Carefree Catering. So we'll go to Highrise Bank, EPI Exchange Service, and we'll choose Carefree Catering. Carefree will add a subscription. We'll search for Best Breads, and then subscribe to the EPI. Here we see the payment information that Carefree Catering now holds for Best Breads. Again, a lot happened in the background here. The request between the CSPs was authorized by Fixius. The event was logged on the blockchain. The EPI information flowed directly from low-rise credit union to high-rise bank. Further, Carefree Catering was registered in a smart contract to automatically receive notice if the content of the EPI for best spreads ever changes. It is important to note that there is no centralized storage of data in Fixius. You maintain direct control over data for which you are responsible. Let's take a look at how this smart contract works. We'll go back over to Low-Rise Credit Union, choose Best Spreads, and edit their profile. Let's go ahead and add a new payment method. Say they want to add Zelle via email to the owner, Pat Best, and we will submit. Now we see the EPI has been updated with two payment mechanisms. When the EPI for best spreads is changed, the event is logged on the Fixius blockchain and triggers the smart contract to automatically notify everyone who subscribed to that EPI, including Carefree Catering. Let's quickly jump back over to High Rise Bank and see what that looks like for Carefree. I click on Carefree Catering, and we now see that they have an action required related to best spreads. We'll click Get EPI, and we see that there are now two payment mechanisms available in the EPI to enable Carefree Catering to pay best spreads. The Fixius EPI exchange service enables payment information to flow safely between buyers and suppliers through their payment service providers. This reduces fraud and ensures payment information accuracy over time. Remember when I mentioned that Fixius supports multiple use cases? I'd like to welcome Ellie Polanco from Novello to show how Novello intends to take advantage of the Fixius ACH account validation service. Ellie?
Thank you, Peter. Novello helps originators and third-party senders reduce payment risk in real time. We'll show you how we use Fixius as part of our process. We'll highlight how a small business would use Novello to reduce payroll risk. After collecting employees' bank account information, a small business owner would start payroll using their payroll web app, such as this one. Insufficient fund returns, business email compromise, administrative errors, they mean lost money and employers not getting paid and employees not getting paid. Now, verifying each of these payments with pre-notes, manual batch rules, account aggregators, they take too long and they're insufficient to catch risk. Novello's API, which you see functioning in real time, uses smart AI and data from partners like Fixius to reduce risk in real time. In this example, this employee direct deposit is associated with payroll impersonation fraud, which can be fixed with a simple phone verification, allowing this employer to start payroll safely and in time. Now, switching over to the Novello portal, developers and service teams are able to drill down and monitor transaction failures of a particular originator. They're able to understand that this transaction have a high risk score. What were the riskiest signals associated with Novello's smart AI algorithm? And importantly, what was the result of the Fixius account validation exchange service check? Fixius's ability to validate accounts in real time enrich our confidence that this alert was not a false positive. Novello helps originators reduce risk in real time. If you're an originator or a payment service provider and you'd like to talk how to reduce payment risk in real time, please do reach out to us via our website. With that, back to you, Peter. Thank you.
Thanks, Ellie. Fixius provides the best way for payment service providers to add value for their customers through trusted, auditable sharing of information to support electronic payments. Please join us in the virtual booth or contact us in the app to see how you can benefit from Fixius. Thank you.